Hey, good morning, everyone. Super excited that you're here. And before we begin, I just want to do a quick check. On the left-hand side of your screen, you should see a chat box. And in that chat box, if you can go ahead and type in and let me know that you can hear me. This does two things for me. It lets me know, A, you can hear me and that my technology is working and that we can have a successful webinar. And two, it lets me know that you know where you can go ahead and ask questions. So if you can drop a line in that chat box, hello, smiley face, I can hear you, good morning, that really helps me out. And then we'll go ahead and get started talking about how to use blogging to increase your search engine optimization. Awesome. I'm super glad you can hear me. And really today, using that blogging to increase your SEO or search engine optimization is what we're going to be talking about. So I do want to ask just quickly before we begin, how many of you know what SEO means or search engine optimization means? I know we've got lots of different levels of users on the line. I want to make sure that you're getting the most information out of this session that you can. Okay, so it looks like some of you do and some of you don't, which is totally okay. Thank you for being brave and letting me know what you do and don't know. So as you're looking at search engine optimization, that is really the algorithm or formula that search engines like Google and Bing and Yahoo are using to decide how to rank your page. And blogging can be a really great way to help increase that search engine optimization. It's definitely not the only way, but it is one tool in your toolbox. So we're really going to review 5 main things that you can do to increase your SEO with blogging. And the first one is to write posts that include main keywords and main keywords. And again, I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of this. So I do want to make sure that everything I'm saying, you know what it is. So how many of you know what a keyword is or how a keyword is used? So a few of you do, which is awesome. And what a keyword is it's really a front-facing word. And I like to simplify this just a little bit and think of it as, what is my consumer putting in the search bar? So there are keywords, something like real estate for sale, Coeur d'Alene, and there are also long string keywords, which are more like phrases. How do I buy an investment property in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho? So there's 2 different ways that people can use those keywords, 2 different types of keywords, and where blogging is very helpful is in those long string keywords. And when you're creating and working with your blog, using those keywords and trying to get them into your blog in 4 places is really that prime number. So between 3 and 4, getting those keywords in so that search engines can really see that your content is keyword rich and what the subject matter is really helpful. So for example, if I were writing a blog post about investing in North Idaho, I might make the title of that headline, now is a great time to invest in a rental property in North Idaho. I may make the subtitle be something like thinking about investing out of your state. Idaho is ranked one of the top 5 home appreciation states in the nation. Start investing now or something like that. Start investing in North Idaho, whatever it is. And then in my post, I'm going to put those words in my post at least once. And at the end of my post, I'm going to say something like, do you have any questions about investing in North Idaho? Comment below, and I'm going to have a call to action. So I am including it in context. I am not just putting it in and putting it in over and over and over in a bullet point list, but it is there about 4 times. The next thing you want to do with your blog is really to be consistent. You need to publish posts on a regular basis. And something to keep in mind is that there used to be a school of thought that said, hey, the more the merrier, the more you're posting, the more we're going to rank your page and that side of it. And that's awesome. That school of thought has changed a little bit and the algorithm is consistently changing. So know that really it needs to be a mix of things. It needs to be good content, keyword rich, regularly posting. I would say between 1 and 3 times a week is plenty. If you can do once a week, awesome. If you're doing once a week and are ready to go up to 2, that's great, but no more than 3 posts a week, because really search engines now are savvy, and they are looking at other parts of your site besides your blog. The other thing that is happening is that you're running a business. You're running a full-time real estate business, and writing more than 3 posts a week is a lot of work if you're doing it the right way. And so really make sure that you're fitting it into your schedule in a way that works for you, but be consistent. If it's once a week, awesome. If it's once a month, awesome. If it's twice a week, fabulous. If it's once every other week for now, great, but put it on your schedule, be consistent, put information up. The third thing is include topics other than homes for sale. So how many of you see on your social media or in blog posts or in people talking that all the real estate agents that you are surrounded with are talking about, oh, this home's for sale, oh, this home's for sale. And it's just a blast of information for sale by the agent. This is for sale, for sale, for sale, for sale. Yeah. And so some of you do, some of you say, hey, there are a few agents out there like that. The hard thing about that is consumers want more, and consumers are savvy. So what I would say is there are a lot of topics. And as you're trying to come up with your topic list of what do consumers want? What do consumers want? And what information should I be sharing on my blog? Think about the questions that sellers ask you when you list their house or when you have a listing appointment. Think about the questions that your friends and family ask you about your job. Hey, Stephen, how's it going? How's work going? Awesome. You know, what is it like to list a home? How many homes do you normally show people? What are some good home values or good projects I could do on my house? All of those things are topics that consumers are looking for answers for. So writing blog posts that are top 5 reasons to update your front porch this summer or this spring is a great post. What are the things they can do? Why is it important to do them? What are the home maintenance things that go into a pride of ownership piece? If you do post a listing, try and use more than just the listing. So, hey, I've got this great new listing in XYZ neighborhood and I'm super excited about it. Did you know that this neighborhood has 6 parks, 2 schools, extensive biking trails, and a bus system, public transportation that will take you to the downtown corridor? What are the features of living there that make the neighborhood great? What are the features of the community that make having that home listed special? How many homes sell in that neighborhood? There's a lot that you can talk about with a listing of a home other than here's the price, here's the photos, and this is what's going on. The fourth thing that we're going to talk about is increasing your traffic. So blogs are awesome, but if no one's reading them, really sharing them to your social media and getting the information out there so that people know that you had a blog post is even better. This helps drive traffic to your website from your social. It also helps reach people where they're at. The latest statistic I read on Facebook said that users spend an average of 20 minutes on Facebook a day. And so you know that users are there and they're using it, and putting out good quality content and driving people to your website to interact only increases that search engine optimization because people are going to your page and staying on your page. And that's one of the things that Bing and Google are looking at. And the last thing that we're going to talk about, and I touched on it briefly earlier when I was talking about keywords, is connect with your audience. Ask them questions so they engage. So ending your post in an engaging questions, things like thinking about investing in the North Idaho area, comment below. Questions about investing in real estate, ask below. Are you going to be doing home improvements this spring? Let me know what they are. I'd love to hear about your projects. But really a call to action so that consumers are engaging with your posts is just as important, and the engagement piece of it is just as important as the content you're putting out. So put out good content to encourage engagement. Engagement also helps increase your SEO. And I think that this is really one of the main reasons why they're saying, hey, you don't need to post a blog every day anymore because consumers are also busy. So they may have time to read your blog once or twice a week, but to really get that engagement level, it needs to be high quality and have that engagement and delivered to consumers in a way that they can digest it and have time to read it. So those are the 5 things. I do want to just quick go through them one more time. So writing your posts that include main keywords, be consistent on publishing your posts, include topics other than homes for sale, to help your traffic or share your blogs on social media, connect with your audience to ask them questions so that they can engage. Those are the top 5 things that you should be doing on your blog post. And now what we're going to do is jump into your IQ office, and we're going to go into really where do you do this in IQ office, how does it look, what do you do, and that part of it. So I'm just going to jump over to that other screen, and we're going to go from here. So underneath your marketing tab, if you go into marketing, you have a section called My Blogs. And if you've never started a blog before, you're going to click on My Blogs, and when it opens up your blog dashboard, you're going to have a big green button here that says Start a New Blog. If you have some blogs going in here, I'm in as a company user so I can see everybody's. You can go in and you can click plus new in the upper right hand corner. When you do this, you're going to give your blog a title. Maybe it is the John Canning real estate blog or the Melanie Martin real estate blog. And again, you're going marketing and then into My Blogs, and we click plus new in the upper right hand corner. And then you're going to choose, is there an administrator email so you can connect your email to it? Do you want notification of a new entry? Yes or no? So if you're a team leader and you're allowing your team members to post, you're going to want to click this as yes. If you're not and you're the only one posting, you don't need an email notification. Do you want notifications when a new comment is made? Yes or no? Is the status of your blog active or inactive? Do you want users to have to log in? So if they want to comment on your blog, do they need to log in? Yes or no? Do you want comments allowed? Yes or no? Do you want them to be disabled after a certain amount of time? So after a month, there can no longer be comments, or 2 months, or 1 year. You choose that. I leave this as do not disable. I think if someone wants to comment on something that's been written, let them comment, even if it's a year later. Engagement is engagement. And then, do you want to include entries from company blogs? Yes or no? And then it will list the company blogs below that. So you could say, hey, I want it from the Real Estate Connection North Idaho, but not the Q Team blog. So you can choose to have the company as the company's posting, those posts shared on your blog. That's what this section is about. And then the last part is, are other users allowed to post? So if you want to add, maybe I want to add Heather to my blog and Faith to my blog because they're creating good content and I want them to be allowed to post, or I have an assistant, or I can add additional people that have rights to add. Once I do all that, I'm going to click save in the upper right hand corner, and it's going to save my blog, and I'm going to see it here underneath blog, the team blog, or the Real Estate Connection. It will show underneath whatever name you gave it. When I click it, I can also go back in and edit it. So if I want to say, hey, I don't like this title, you can change the title of your blog. To get into your entries, you're going to go into your entries here, and it will open up your entry dashboard. You also can get to this page by going directly to marketing and then clicking on the blog that you want to open, and then it will take you to that entry dashboard. So 2 ways to get there. Now, as you're looking at this screen, know that I can get back in and see the settings of that blog here. I also can click on subscribers and see all of the subscribers available here. And if I want to create a new post, I'm going to click plus new. So when I click plus new, it's going to open up that section, and I can see here I need to give my entry a title and a subtitle. And going back to that keyword piece that we were talking about earlier today, this is where you're going to first make the appearance of your keyword-rich title. And that is going to say something like keyword title is what I'm going to type in here. But this is something like real estate investments in Grand Junction, real estate investments in Encino, California, investors looking to buy in the greater Seattle area. Whatever that blog is about, you're going to title it, and you should function your title around the keywords that you think consumers are searching for. That subtitle is going to be a longer string version. So if my title is investors looking for properties in the greater Seattle area, my subtitle is going to be something like why now is a good time to sell your investment property if you are in the greater Seattle area. So now I've done two things. I've got a short title, investors looking for property in the greater Seattle area. This covers the keywords of, if someone is looking in the search bar, investment property, greater Seattle. The longer string word is selling my investment property in the greater Seattle area. So really, this is all about selling my investment property in the greater Seattle area, or a potential investor property. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to write my article. So I'm going to write my article in this box. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to write my article, I'm going to get it all in. I can go in and I can change this text. So I can go in, I can change the font. You can say, hey, I want it to be this font. I want it to be 14 point. I then can write additional text. And if I want this text to be in a different font than the top text, no problem. This acts very similar to Microsoft Word. I can go in and I can change it. Now, when it's pulling the headlines, I can see here that there was a question about headlines. So Anna asked, do we have the ability to add headlines in the body of the text? At this time, the only headlines that we can put are the entry title and the subtitle. And so that's where you're going to want to make sure that you include those titles. Now, we talked about changing the format. I can also go in, I can change the color. So if I want the text color for this one to be blue, I can do that. If I want this to be highlighted, I can use this highlight background color and highlight that text. And I highlighted both, sorry there about that. So I can do that for each. I can also go in and I can also go in and I can say, hey, I want to center my text. Highlight it. I want it to be centered. I need to make it a bulleted list. I want to make it a numbered list. Whatever you would like to do, you can do. There is a section in here that you can insert a hyperlink. So if I want to hyperlink this to either another blog post, or maybe I want to hyperlink it to the What's My Homework page, I can do that. I can choose if that target opens up in the same window or if I want it to open up in a new window so people aren't taken off my blog. That's what I would suggest. You just copy and paste that blog or that link here that you want to be displayed, and you can do that. I can also insert images. So if I want to go in and I want to say, hey, I need to insert a picture, I can upload my own pictures, or I could say, hey, I need to insert this photo that I have. If you choose to upload your own picture, you would just click on the green add files here and upload one from your computer. So really easy. I can also resize that. So I can click on it, make it bigger, make it smaller. I can also center just the picture if I want. If you want to get more advanced than this, know that you can insert a table and put a table in and change some of that justification as well. Now, I know that some of you on the call are more advanced, and so I do want to make sure that we're covering a few things that you also can do. And one of them is inserting a video. So if you have a video that you would like to enter in to this blog post. So say you're writing this article on investment property for the greater Seattle area, why now is a good time, and then you actually did like a YouTube video. So you did a YouTube of yourself walking around maybe the Bellevue, Seattle area, talking about investment properties and why it's important, and basically covering all the information that you had in your article. You can also embed a video. So to do that, you would go to the video on YouTube and you would click on the share button. When you get to the share button, there is an embed symbol here. And you'll notice on your blog post, there's also an embed function here. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on embed. I'm going to copy all of the code. So I click copy. And then I go here. I click source code. And then I can just click paste. When I do that, it automatically inserts it in. So there it is. It's in. It's ready to go. I can drag and drop it. So if I want this to actually be here, I can move it. I can also go in, I can center just this part, and it will play. So know that you can insert a video, you can insert a link, you can upload images, you can change your text. There's a lot that you can do within this box. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to type in our call to action. We're going to say, what do you think about investing in the greater Seattle area? Comment below and let's chat. So I have my call to action at the end of this. On the right hand side, there's a few things you need to know. It looks like there was a question that Melanie asked. She said, hey, I have an article. It's a little bit lengthy and I hit save not to use it. Did it publish it by mistake? I'm not sure I was finished. If you want to save it without posting it, you can click to inactive. So if you click to inactive, then if I click save, it's not going to publish it. As you do that, you can also change the date you publish. So if Mondays are your day for catching up, you can go in and you can say, hey, I want this to post on Friday, but I'm writing it today. It's inactive, click save, and then it's saved. You also have the choice on each individual blog post if you want comments or not, yes or no. So that's something that you can do. There's also a place for a featured image. So if I want to add a featured image, I just click here and it's going to open up my folder for pictures. I can go in and I can say, hey, I need this to be my featured image. It will insert it in. And then I can go in, I can change it. Hey, this is not the photo that I wanted. I actually wanted this picture of Peyton Manning in 1998 on my blog, and you can do that. That's going to show on your website as the thumbnail. Then I can go in, I can add categories. And as you add categories, they will add to this list. So I can go in, I can say, maybe I want to look at investment. And maybe I want to add something like selling investments. I can do that. I can add additional categories just by typing them in. Once I type them in, they are going to show on this list. I'm going to say, okay, we want to know about remodeling. We want to know about financing. So whatever those categories are that you want to add, you can do that here as well. There's also an option to have the auto status. So if you want it to come off your website after a certain amount of time, you can do that. You just say, hey, I want this to be inactive after 3 months. Awesome. Once you've made all your changes, you're going to click save. And it's going to tell you, yep, hey, this was successful. If I close out, it's going to show that blog post here. And when I open it up, it's going to say, hey, this entry is inactive. To activate it, you can click active here, or you can go underneath actions, edit, and then click active and click save. Now I can see, okay, this blog is active and it's posted to my website. There are a few things you need to know about the website. Before we get further in, there are a couple questions that came in. One, this is a little bit overwhelming. Will there be a recording of this video? The answer is yes, this is being recorded and you will get an email copy of it. Does this blog pull the website's preview like Facebook or iMessages does? Yes, I do believe it does, John. When you share it on your Facebook, it will do that. Also, John asks, who is using this blog at the high level? John, we've got a lot of users, and I do not know the answer to that. There's a lot of people that are using it at a high level. That's a question I would ask on the Facebook page, and I'll share those links in the chat box so that you have access to our Facebook page and can ask our users. so that you can really get the answers to that. So now linking your website through. So we're going to go over to your website. And on your website, the first choice is if you want to have a blog here where it says, hey, check out the latest from our blog. That is based on your design. So when you go through and you choose your design, make sure that you're choosing one that has a blog section in it. So as I scroll through, I'm going to make sure that it says, hey, blog section with customizable categories and title. Okay. Once I choose that design, I can see all of my blog postings down here. If you love the design that you've already chosen for your website and you don't want to change it, do not fret. You can add it to your menu. So if you click Edit Page, there's a couple ways to edit your menu. You can go here to Menus and choose to edit the site menu. You also can click on the menu at the top on this edit pencil and it will open it up. So right now I've got a blog on there, so I'm just going to delete that out so you can see what this looks like. I'm going to go in, I'm going to say, hey, I would like to add an IQ page. I'm going to scroll through the list and I can see here's my blog. I want this title to be my blog, or maybe you want it to be read more. You choose, and then do you want it to be a sub-menu? So do you want it to be underneath About Me, or if you want it to be a top menu, you're going to click sub-menu of None. Okay. So again, what we did there is we went to Edit, we went to IQ Pages, we chose our blog from the list, we named it, and we added it to the menu and clicked Save. If we wanted it to be part of the design, we went into Design. We made sure to scroll through and look at each design and made sure to choose a design that had a blog section so that it would be reflected in that blog section. Any questions there? So there is a question from Michelle that says, do these blogs go out to all of our contact list, and can we choose who gets it? Melanie, a blog is something that's publicly posted on your website. So everybody can see it if they go to their site. A good idea would be to maybe do an email to all of your clients, a campaign, like an all contacts campaign. And in that, you could say, hey, I've started a new blog. Here's the link. Would love to have you follow me and join me on my blog, updating you with more information about XYZ community that you live in. So this is not like an email campaign. This is something that's posting on your website to help you increase your search engine optimization. Does that make sense? Alrighty, so just a quick recap from today. We went into marketing, we went into my blogs. If you haven't started a blog, you're going to click the plus new button and you're going to create a blog here. If you've already created a blog, you can go in and you can open up the blog, go to entries in order to get to your main entry dashboard, or you can go in and you can go and just click on the blog itself and it will open up that entries dashboard. From the entries dashboard, you can see all the settings from your blog, the subscribers to your blog, and add new blog posts. Adding entry title, subtitle, and then typing your text. There's a lot of tools in here, embedding videos, uploading photos, changing indents and text. You can post or predate blogs, as also allow commenting based on individual blog posts. If you'd like to add categories, you can do that underneath the categories button, and you can add a featured image. Once you're done making your changes, you can click Save. If you'd like to save and come back without having it displayed on your website, you're going to make sure you click Inactive and then click Save. Then we talked about how to connect it to your website, either by going to Design and being sure to choose a design that had a blog section, or by editing the menu and adding it as a main menu item or a sub-menu item. So that's a lot of information in 30 minutes. I want to thank you all for joining me this morning. Are there any questions that I can answer for you? I know that's a lot, and this would be my challenge. Put it on your calendar. Start with once a month. Start with once a month blogging. Once you've got once a month down from now to the end of the year, start doing once every other week. Keeping in mind, you can use that schedule function, and if you have a lot to write, you can go in and you can create a new entry and you can date it. So you could do all of your blogging maybe on the 4th, and you could schedule posts out on the 8th, 11th, 18th, or 25th, or maybe you're going to schedule them out on the 11th and the 25th. But start with once a month for a couple months, then go to twice a month for a couple months, then going to once a week. And then if you're ready to add more after that, you can, but put it on your calendar. Also, I actually carry around a notebook with me everywhere I go so that I can write down ideas and questions that I get as I get them. It just helps me organize my thoughts. It helps me always know what I need to say. It also is a really good place to brainstorm for posting for your blogs, because if the consumer is asking you, they're also asking Google, and that's how you're going to really see the needle move in these posts is, are you delivering content that consumers want to hear? Awesome. Alrighty, if there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the session. Thank you for sharing this time with me this morning, and I will talk to you soon.